So, fresh out the shower and just from the gym, Hollyoaks has announced a fairly interesting twist for its 30th anniversary, and a lot of old school fans are probably going to be quite happy about this. So, I'll firstly just suggest, I'll be honest, I don't know anything about this topic. I've not watched it, I've not seen it, I got no clue. I've always thought about watching it, I've always thought about looking at it, but I've never taken the plunge. But maybe now is the time to do so, as Brookside is to make a shocking return 22 years after being axed. Now, this one's kind of crazy, honestly. This one isn't anything I expected personally. And I'll just read the article. But once again, I will just reiterate. I will reiterate once again, I've never watched Brookside. I've not even watched clips of Brookside. I once pulled it up to watch and then didn't watch the first episode. The only storyline I vaguely know of is the Nat and Georgia, but most of my Brookside knowledge comes from Phil Redmond. Axed Channel 4 soap Brookside is making a return in a totally unexpected way. As part of Hollyoaks' 30th anniversary celebrations this year, there'll be a special episode crossing over with Brookie, as fans like to call it. Running from 1982 to 2003, Brookside was the first soap created by Sir Phil Redmond. Grange Hill came first. There we are, that's what he did. He did Grange Hill, and then obviously he created Hollyoaks, and laid the foundation for the kind of storytelling Hollyoaks would later adopt. The special episode will be filming on location at what used to be the Brookside Close in Liverpool, which is now a residential area. The locals will be invited to share lunch with the cast and crew while filming is taking place. It's not just the location making an appearance, as some classic characters are set to make their return. We don't know who yet, but we're filming set for September. It won't be too long before we find out. Yeah, Christ, it's next month, isn't it? This episode is a love letter to both Hollyoaks and Brookside, says Hannah Cheers. Brookside gave birth to Hollyoaks. It grew up on the same site and eventually took over its sets. For everyone at Lime Pictures, originally Mersey TV, Hollyoaks' history is deeply rooted in Brookside, and its legacy lives on through our crew and, of course, some of our cast. This special feels like both a moving and fitting tribute to our origin story, and for chance to revisit much-loved Brookside characters in honour of that legacy. These iconic Brookside characters are soap archetypes that help define British TV, soap archetypes the new generations are still discovering now through Hollyoaks. As a lifelong soap fan who grew up watching with my mum, I was passionate about revisiting Brookside for the anniversary. So, with Sir Phil's blessing, after I had the privilege of pitching the idea to him and the Sport Channel 4, we were able to make it happen. Writer Steve Hughes, who began his career on Brookside, has reimagined where these characters are more than 20 years on. We hope audiences will be welcoming our old friends into our homes again. Redmond added, "It's always bittersweet thinking back to Brookie, the reminders of its success and its impact, but the thoughts of many like Dean Sullivan and Bill Dean who are no longer with us. But it's great that Lime Pictures are paying homage in their Hollyoaks anniversary crossover episodes. I can't wait to see how all the gardens are coping in the heatwave, and who knows what might pop up if someone decides to relay their patio. I know we left something else down there." And then obviously it mentions that Brookside started to get added to the STV Players streaming service in 2023, right to the very beginning. Reruns have set multiple records on the streamer and it even added a Brookside spin-off at the start of the year. And obviously it mentions the ITV and Coronation Street. The ITV and Coronation Street come together as of late. Now, yeah, once again, I'm not going to comment much about Brookside. I don't know Brookside. I like to believe I typically know a lot about all these soaps. Never seen it. I probably will now. Now I'm actually kind of intrigued to go ahead and watch it. But obviously it kind of had its big... it had a bunch of stuff. Like, obviously you had... You've had a bunch of characters who have proceeded to do more. You have Claire Sweeney, who's currently in Coronation Street. You have Diane Fletcher, who's obviously in Hollyoaks. You have Donnie Clark. You have, I think it's Louis Emmerich. I don't know. Like, we know him. He plays Donnie in Hollyoaks. You just typically have, like, it's got a lot of the kind of soap alumni who also take place. Obviously, the big controversial thing is they had the outrageous sibling incest storyline, which YouTube's probably going to hate me for saying that, but it did happen. And it kind of tended to, the longer it went on, people typically would suggest it kind of got more and more outlandish. But yeah, obviously it did the first pre-watershed lesbian kiss in 94. Did a domestic abuse storyline resulting in murder. First gay character on a British TV series. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff, and it's always good to think of the history. It's always good to kind of look back and respect, you know, what came before. And we knew that Hannah Cheers was always talking about what was going to. They were talking about wanting to honor its history, and I think this is what they were talking about when they said they wanted to honor the history. Their history is honoring it by bringing back Brookside for an episode. And I think a lot of people do lament the loss of Brookside, and a lot of people kind of, because once again, this may be kind of stretching, but to me it seems like Brookside probably had a very working class thing. They probably had a very working class. I mean, it's set in Liverpool, right? So it's set in Liverpool. It's set in Liverpool. It has a bunch of it has a guy from Mike Bassett, England manager, legend. Like, it probably is what some people would look at in current soap and say it's missing. It's kind of missing that edge that Brookside had. But yeah, I'm gonna do a thing after this. I'm gonna go ahead and watch a bunch of Brookside, and I'm gonna form an actual opinion about it. So when it does happen, I get more to talk about. But I think this is exciting. I think this is cool. I feel like this one's obviously the only joke I can make is Corey and Emmerdale are kind of like, we're coming together to bring it back. Hollyoaks is twinned up with Brookside. Obviously, it's not being brought back fully, but it's just. And what is EastEnders going to do? Bring back El Dorado? Like, that's all it's got. That's all it's got. But I will argue the one thing to get slightly worried about, or it could be a good thing. First, you're going to see a bunch of the characters get brought back. Obviously, the people we can probably imagine are safe bets, like Alex Fletcher, like Louis Emmerich, like the character. Like, I'm pretty sure. I think Warren was on. I think Warren was on. Was in Brookside. Old Jamie Lomas. Could be wrong. Okay, no, he had like 7 episodes in Brookside. Never mind. But yeah, so I just remember him and like Donnie having like a weird like, do I know you from somewhere? And that was supposed to be a cool allusion to Brookside. Right, Steve Hughes. So what is Steve Hughes' like? What is Steve Hughes' background in writing? Because if he did Brookside, that's cool. But if he didn't, I'm quite right, because I'm glad Hannah Cheers isn't deciding what the Brookside character's going to do, because she would just make shit up, wouldn't she? That's the reputation she's cultivated. She just start making shit up. So, you know, if it is actually someone who's actually written for Brookside and actually knows the characters well, I'm fine with it. But it's always the issue, right? You have to do a good job, because Brookside's never getting brought back. We're at the stage now. I don't think any soaps are going to get brought back from the dead. Like Neighbours, it's not technically stopped yet. It still is the running to the end of this year, but it's not getting brought back. It's not getting brought back. But excuse me. But I don't know. I just don't really think. It's just a bit worrying. It's just a bit worrying to see this Hollyoaks team trying to take on. Maybe people didn't like Brookside at the end, and that's kind of expected to happen with a show that went on what lasted 20 years, 21 years. So yeah, exciting. Bit worried about how they're going to bring it back, but then I don't actually have any frame of reference, so I'm probably just going to take it all in, lap it all up. But now it's time to pose the question to you, as the audience. Did you watch Brookside? Did you love it? Are you excited for this? Are you not excited for this? And I will obviously reiterate, this is for a one-off episode. This isn't here for good. It's not being revived. It's just for like a one-off episode with the anniversary. So, yeah. Interesting news, exciting news, and I hope to see what you think in the comment section, as I don't know shit about Brookside. But yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time.